Hello everyone. Hi, how are you? Hi, I am teacher in Sari. SM Science Salam Shah is going to help you with paper 2. Okay, have you ever wondered why paper 2 biology is like so hard to score, so hard to get marks? Oh God, it's one of the biggest battles, isn't it? The relationship with you and bio is like Beauty and the Beast, right? Don't worry, I will help you to love it, all right? Okay, again, welcome to 30 minutes. That's all I'm asking from you to conquer biology in SPM 2020, all right? So today, what is the topic that I'm going to talk to you about? What type of question that I'm going to teach you how to tackle? All right, so it is one of the very important type of question, which is like according to my analysis, every year it's there, and I call it the compare and contrast questions. If you notice, this question is one question that always every year it's there, and you can either call it either compare and contrast, or you can call it as similarity and differences. Okay, without wasting much time, let's go into it. Okay, so first thing first, as usual, the analysis, always the numbers never ever lie. So, yeah, this is my analysis of all the questions 5 years back. So, how much of marks has been allocated for a question which is like a compare and contrast? All right, in 2015, all compare and contrast questions were in structure, and 2016 again substructure only, so they only gave like 3 marks, not much. 2017 onwards there was a significant increase. Okay, they had like 5 marks in structures, 3 marks in structures and 20 marks in essay. So that actually gave like 23 marks. Oh my god, I forgot the highlighter. Okay, kejap. So 23 marks. Okay, out of total of 100 marks in paper 2. And 2018, again, the same scenario with it appeared both in structure and essay. And it took like quite a big chunk, 25 marks out of 100. Okay, 2019, there's a slight decrease. But whatever the scenario is, what I can conclude is compare and contrast or similarity and differences. It's a every year scenario. It will definitely appear, and it's going to be there right at your face. So we have to learn to answer it. We have to learn to know what they want and answer accordingly. Okay, all right, so moving on. All right, okay, so the compare and contrast questions based on my analysis in these 5 years, usually they can be categorized in 3 types. Okay, they can come out in 3 different types, but they are actually like very similar. Okay, sometimes the question asks only the differences. So when they are asking only the differences, that means you only have to give the differences. Okay, no similarity needed. But if they ask to compare and contrast, that means you have not only have to give the similarity but also the differences. Another very confusing type of this type of question is when the question asks only compare. So when they ask to only to compare, what the student think is, oh, they only want the differences. No, darlings, you have to give both. You have to give the similarity and you also have to give the differences. Right? So this is the 3 types of question that I'm going to tackle with you today. Of course, only from the 5 years, previous 5 years, I don't run far. Okay, and I don't know, I don't dare to speculate, but being the final year who's going to have the taste of KBSM and the final year who's going to have this type of format, I don't think so there'll be much difference in the way they're going to ask the questions. It's going to be pretty much the same according to the trend of the analysis that I did. So yeah, so that is definitely my personal opinion. You see, it's not like based on anything or what. Yeah, because since you are going to be the last, okay, the last batch who is doing this, I don't think so there will be much differences. So they will be like pretty much sticking to the same trend. So my conclusion is this question is definitely going to appear, and you better get to know how to tackle it. All right. Okay. So differences. Okay. First thing first, when you encounter the question type differences, similarity and differences, there is actually two ways to go about this. When the question, some students like to do in the form of a table. Even some teachers ask you to do in the form of table, which is okay, not wrong. And some teachers or some like me, honestly, I prefer to my students do in tackle this type of question in the form of sentences. All right, that is definitely a personal preferences. I have my reasons to say that, but it can be done in both ways, especially in essay. Okay, so you want to do your answers, you want to present your answers some if in the form of a table, feel free to do so, but you do have to follow certain rules. If you want to do it in the form of sentence, still there are few rules to follow. Okay, definitely there's no shortcut about this. Definitely there's no shortcut about this. Have to strictly follow the rules. All right. Okay. So if this question, okay, this is one question. Diagram 4.1 from last year. Diagram 4.1 shows two organisms. It's organism A and organism B. It shows cat and it shows, I don't know what is this, but in Malay we call this pokok setawa, right? Okay. So the other question is explain the difference between the types of reproduction of organism A and organism B. So in here, you do not have to give similarity, and this was a structure question, right? So when it's a structure question, you have to do it in the form of sentence. You cannot do in the form of table. Okay. So look at, as usual, my style is I always give the wrong answer first so that you know that if you've been doing this way all this while, so it's high time you change your style. Okay, let's see this. Organism A does asexual reproduction, dot. Organism B does sexual reproduction, dot. So this is what you should not do. When you are comparing, you have to do it in the same sentence. That is the golden rule. When you separate them in two different sentences, this is not comparing. This is not differentiating. This is not differentiating. This is stating. That means you are stating what is organism A, you're stating what is organism B. Definitely that is not what they ask. They ask you to differentiate. And when they ask you to differentiate, you have to give it some respect and act accordingly. Right? So organism A does, how do you answer this? Okay, organism A does asexual reproduction while organism B does sexual reproduction. The conjunction must be there to connect both the sentence. That is how you go about this. Okay, when you are doing the differences in the form of sentences, especially in structure, always have a conjunction to connect both the sentences together. Never use these dots. Dot, dot, wrong. I hope you understand. Okay, the next one. This one, treat this question as a essay question. The same thing came out for an essay. If you want to do in the form of table, okay, if you want to do in the form of table, the golden rule is always present your answers in a complete sentence. That is the rule. The problem that is, this is the reason why I do not prefer if my students do it in the form of table. Why is because being all teaching in all boys school, being in all boys school, you know, the boys are really, sorry to be like gender offensive, they're a bit lazy. So they always try to find the shortcut, and they will find the shortest way to present their answers. So when they do it in the form of table, automatically, psychologically, they think that it should be really short. So when it becomes really short, what happens is they lack of elaboration. That is one reason. So that is my personal opinion. That is definitely my personal opinion. Maybe some teachers do not agree with me. I'm fine with it. but I am saying what I think. Okay. So organism A, like in the, if you put it in the table, look at how the student did. Not a sexual production. Sexual production. This is what we call as negative positive. Okay. So negative and positive. The problem with this is you have to find, if you take a characteristics, you have to find a corresponding characteristic to each of them, not using a negative statement. How am I to explain this? Okay. For example, okay. So now I have two colors here. This is my compact powder actually. Okay. So this is my phone and this is my compact powder. Okay. Both of them are different color and we are going to differentiate them in the sense of color. Okay. So this is black. The way this student write this is like this. This one is black. The phone is black, while this one is not black. That is exactly how this sentence means. Not sexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. This is black and this is not black. If this is not black, then what color is this? That is what you need to say. You cannot say, oh, this is sexual reproduction and this is not a sexual reproduction. If you have a specific word for it, you have to respect that and you have to put it. You cannot say this is black and this is not black, even though it is true. This is definitely not black, but you have to respect that class. This is black, this is blue. Okay, so that is how you have to answer this question. Okay, do not give negative positive unless it's absolutely necessary. Of course, some questions, some characteristic, you don't know, you they do not have a corresponding character, so definitely you have to say yes or no. Like for example, cell wall, they have cell wall. Animal cells do not have cell wall, and plant cells have cell wall. Okay, that I understand. But if they do have a specific word for it, then you better put it accordingly. All right. Then another thing is, there you go. Texting language, very commonly found in answers nowadays. The students, since you've been so used to doing exercise and you do it in short form and so on, and this is how you text each other. So it is very common to see this type of wordings in answer scripts. So they say, oh, gametes. Does this involve gamete or organism A does not involve gamete? Organism B involves gamete, because this is asexual reproduction. This is sexual reproduction. So this involves gamete. This does not involve gamete. But then this tick wrong and right tick is not in the syllabus. How the examiner is going to give you marks? How the examiner is going to go about this and give you marks? This is like we are like so. I don't know what to say in English for that. This is like we serba salah. Huh. Want to give mark also wrong, don't want to give mark also wrong. Isn't it? Because we understand what you wanted to say, but unfortunately, this is not in the marking scheme. So that is a dilemma. All right. I hope you understand this. So do not do this, because it's not that the students deliberately do this. I understand that. But sometimes since you've been so carried away and you've been doing this all this while and nobody has told this is wrong, so you continue doing it. But now I'm telling you, this is definitely wrong. Do not do it like that. All right. Okay. Next. Again, the difference is this is the way to answer this question. Uh, the same thing. Okay. Organism A, we have the characteristic. We have organism B, even though it is done in the form of table, which is in the essay. You only can do this in the essay. Yeah? Organism A does asexual reproduction. Organism B does sexual reproduction. So this is the difference. Look at that. Everything is complete. The sentence is complete. Even though you put in the form of a table, your sentence must be complete. Okay. Then the second one. Oh, this one does not involve gamete. This one involves gamete. So that is how you go about this. All right. Kudos to those who answers like this. If you do not answer like this is high time for you to change your style. You cannot be tak boleh degil lagi lah. Right? Sometimes the students are just so stubborn. Even if we tell them that this is not the way to do this, then they will still do it according to their style. And when they lose marks, yeah, right. So don't. Don't. Okay. So if you want to do in the form of table, please be my guest, but make sure the sentence is complete. That's all. And do not use texting messages, texting languages, too short languages. No, do not do that. Okay. Next. All right. Compare and contrast. Okay. This is when they have this compare and contrast. That means they want similarity and the differences. And usually this type of question, it comes in an essay. Very common in essay, because when you have compare and contrast, they can allocate a lot of marks here. But if it comes for structure, maybe they will limit to just give one similarity, one differences. That's it. That might be it. That's it. Okay, but if it comes out for your essay, that means they are expecting more. That means you must have a lot of points. So that is what I already listed here. When the question does not say how many similarity or how many differences that you're supposed to give, so give at least 3 similarities and 7 differences, or 4 similarity and 6 differences. Or if you want to give more similarity, if you can find more, you want to give more similarity, be my guest, but you have to give the differences too. That's why in the second sentence I said, avoid giving either or any. Some students, just because of they know all the differences, but they do not know similarity. So what do? Is they give like 10 correct differences. So they did not give any similarity, but they gave 10 correct differences. So usually in the marking scheme, we have been told how many marks that we should give for differences. So that is the maximum amount of marks you will get. That is where your points will start. You cannot get the full marks. I'm so sorry to say this, to break this unevenly news to you. But even though you give all the 7 correct differences, you will never get full marks. All you will get is only the maximum marks allocated for the differences, depending on the marking scheme. Right? So avoid doing that. Okay. If you write in point form, some students say that, oh, I prefer to write in point form. Fine, no worries. Essay, it's free country. You can do whatever you want. No worries. But the only thing is, make sure you write in complete sentences. Only the way you're presenting, either you want to do in point form, you want to do in essay form, or you want to do in a table form. The style is different, but then make sure it is in complete sentence. That is what's most important here. All right. Okay. So this is actually one thing that I have to remind again and again, because for some reason the students just forget this. I don't know why. It just slipped their mind. I have no idea. I don't know why. Okay. The reason is it's like this. Point form. When do you do point form? You do only point form when you are doing your own notes and so. So you're so used to making it short and compact. So when you do this in answers also, what happens is you tend to compact your answers, you tend to compact your points. So that is where you are losing marks, when you do not have enough elaboration on the point. Okay, so yeah, try if you're good at it, fine, but please make sure it's a complete sentence. Okay, all right. For similarities, when you are starting your sentence for the similarity, make sure the similarity start with both organism has. Do not just say, I will show you in the next slide what I mean by this. Always start with both organism or both whatever that you're comparing has this. Both of them. That means it denotes that you are comparing them in the same category. Then another thing that's a very commonly problem with the students is they will mix more than 1 point in a sentence. I will show you what I mean by this. They will mix more than 1 point in one sentence. This is what we need to definitely avoid, because it confuses the examiner. It confuses the examiner, and the examiner might miss the point. So who is in the losing side here? You. So always remember 1.1 sentence, no matter how long it is, 1.1 sentence, 1.1 sentence. Train yourself to write like this. All right, next, the differences must be corresponding. That means when you're doing the differences, you make sure it is corresponding to the same characteristic. Do not just mix whatever that comes into your mind, just put it, put it, put it, put it. No, do not do that. Okay, you have to always make sure that the differences are corresponding. That is the problem when you mix too many points and you do not do the differences according to correspondingly. You will lose points. Okay, I will show all this with example how you should not do. Okay, oh, this is like, okay, never mind. Always give the similarity first before the differences. Some students, what they will do is, they will just write as it comes. No draft, no planning, just go by the flow. This is actually hilarious, when the examiner has to like switch their thinking from differences, then go to similarity, then go to differences, go to similarity, and go to differences. Oh my God. It's not a hilarious scenario. It definitely, marking is not it's not a picnic for us, It's quite a stressful job. So yeah, please give us some credit to that. So yeah, please don't do that. Don't make our life miserable, you see. Okay, next, okay. This is how you should not do. Look at that. I have a big no, no, no sign here. Okay, so like for example, when you need to compare between the frog respiratory system and the insect respiratory system. Look at that, the similarity. There's no word both. That was not existent here. Did not even bother to put. Just put it in the point form. Internal and external respiration. What does it mean by that? Isn't it? Internal and external respiration. And you're expecting the examiner to understand what is this. You see, some students will come and argue, teacher, takkan you tak tahu? You are, how long you've been teaching? Of course, you know what I meant. Of course, my darling, of course, I know what do you mean. But when I become an examiner, when I sit as a teacher and looking at your scripts, I have to be the stupidest person on earth. And it is your duty to explain it one by one. Okay, so in this case, even I might be a PhD holder, I will act like stupid. I will just make dono. You who have to explain to me properly, explain to me accordingly what you wanted to say. Right? It is your duty, not mine. I can't be doing the thinking for you. Okay. So look at the next one. Gaseous exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Again, an incomplete sentence. Some examiners might just give marks and move on, but some don't. So that is why, so don't take the risk. Then, you have the texting pick trachea. That means both of them have trachea, but that pick is not in the marking scheme, so do not do that. Moist. I don't know what is moist. Who is moist? Fan. So that is the problem. Okay. The next one. Okay. He wants to do in the form of table. I respect that. Fine. But look at how they have mixed the points, many points in the same table, in the same row. Okay. Look at that. Involves open circulation and spiracles, but does not involve blood. Here, the frog, it involves blood circulation. Yes. Closed circulation. Yes. Nostrils. Yes. But then when you are comparing this in this manner, this is totally wrong because you are not comparing them in a proper manner. Like for example, okay, involves the open circulation. Here involves blood circulation. Like the blood is here, it is the third point here, and you put it first here. And here you said closed circulation. Here the open circulation is the first, here the closed circulation is the second. And you say it has spiracle and yes, oh my God, everything is jumbled up. So this is the reason I do not allow the students to write more than 1 point in one sentence. Do not do this. One sentence, 1 point. Make it a habit. Right? Okay, next. Has chitin? No chitin. If it does not have chitin, this is same scenario like this. The blue and the black. If that does not, if the insect does not have chitin, so what does that have? The frog does not have chitin. What do they have? They have cartilages. So you cannot say, oh, this one has chitin, that one has no chitin, or you forgot what is the name, you just put no chitin. Of course, this is wrong. Even though the has chitin is correct, no chitin is wrong, the whole thing is wrong. That is how they mark. Okay? So here, the oxygen dissolves and diffuses straight into the cell. Oxygen has to be transported by blood. Okay, can you see the word add? That means it's end. So again, texting language. Okay, so that is prohibited. Okay, next, involve exchange of gases through skin. Here they put a tick there. You know, you might be laughing, oh my God, how this person can do it like that. We see this. We see this even school level. I see all this. I've seen all this. Okay, so yeah, you know, because you might be doing this, you know, without your conscious. So please, you don't do this. Okay, all right. Okay, if the question asking you to compare, that means the question says only compare. So what you need to do is, it is exactly same like similarity and differences. When they give you compare only, that means you still have to give the similarity and still have to give the differences, and all the rules here will be applied here too. Okay, so that is why I did not give it double time. Okay, I did not give it. Okay, so yeah, treat it as the same as compare and contrast. All right, okay. So, yeah, remember, these are the final stops. So, if you choose to present your answers in sentence, make sure to compare them in the same sentence with proper conjunction. Do not put them as separate sentence and put two dots there. That is not comparing, that is stating. Then, if you choose to present in the form of table, make sure the sentence is complete with corresponding points. No texting language. Make sure your sentence is complete. Do not mix more than 1 point there. And if you want to do in point form, also please do in complete sentences. All right. Then avoid positive negative comparisons. Do not do this unless it's absolutely necessary. There are some characteristic you do not have corresponding points. Then in that case, you may example like plant cell have cell wall and animal cell don't, because they don't have anything corresponding to it. Then that is allowed. Okay, so in the structure questions, try not to do in the form of table. But if the table has been provided to you, nowadays I see that few questions, the differences, they've already provided a table for you. If that's the case, just fill it up. Just fill it up, no problem, just fill it up. Okay, so try to avoid that. Okay, so yeah, so we have come to the final part of our slot today. Again, thank you so much to those who subscribe. Keep subscribing, keep liking, keep sharing. I see that many of you still, like I see the analysis of many of you did not subscribe yet. I don't know, it's a small thing that you can do for me, for my effort. When you subscribe and you like, that is a very small thing that you can do for all this effort that I'm putting. Okay, so yeah, keep supporting me so that I know that I'll be more motivated to give help you before this for 16th March. Okay, so yeah, so the final word is similarities and differences, or compare and contrast. There are definitely no shortcuts allowed. So that is what. So remember, if this question comes up for essay in SPM, you're sitting facing the paper two, and this type of question comes, remember what the teacher in Saree told you. When you're dealing with similarity and differences, definitely there are no shortcuts. Everything must be complete. Okay? With that, Thank you so much, guys. Okay, I will see you again with next slot, and there'll be more to come. 30 minutes. That's all. This series will continue to be with you until 16th of March. So I will do as much as I can to help you to score in Bio SPM 2020. Okay. So with that, thank you and bye bye. See you.